Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Today's still Tuesday, I think, the 11th, maybe, 2022. I've recorded a couple videos today, and I also went to not this neighborhood because obviously I was around here yesterday or the day before, and I made a very clear point that in 90 minutes I made a decent amount of money from donations, which makes the minimum wage here in Florida look like rat food. So since I don't, obviously I'm not gonna. There's still a couple other places I can go to because I walk by there every day and I see the people. So I mean, there's not many houses that I know. But I went to my old neighborhood where I used to live at, where there's still some people that I know, and then a lot of people have moved, but some of the people that I still do know, they're nice enough to introduce them to their new neighbors. And then if not that, some of the people are just nice enough that when I start talking to them, I start telling them the situation, and I explain to them everything, they're actually moved by the cause, and they actually are able to donate. For the main part, I say, you know, I do take checks, but I try to save cash because I don't have a checking account. I'd have to give it all to my parents. So, long story short, I went earlier today, and because of that, the sun was angry. It was angry. So, I don't know if you can tell right now, my skin, it might be a little bit more color than usual. But nonetheless, I was out there for about an hour. And in an hour's time, I made almost 300% more than what the minimum wage is in the state of Florida. It's just ridiculous. It's just embarrassing. It's something that I understand that, I didn't masters in economics, so I don't understand the full concept of how, when it comes to consumerism and retail stores and things that need to be done in order to keep prices down and this and that. But still, human beings should be treated like human beings. We shouldn't be treated, like I said in my previous video, like slaves, where we have to work for the bare minimum, just scraping by, having to live off of welfare all the meantime while we're working full time. Is that a way? Is that dignified? Is that how that takes a person's dignity away? Knowing that they're working, they're busting their arse, and they're working full time, only to have to go and fill out paperwork to say that they don't have enough income to buy food, they don't have income to pay rent, to pay utilities, in spite of the fact that they work a 40-hour work week, if sometimes in some cases even more. That's why, as growing up, I never went to high school, but I did start working as soon as I was about 15. And then at one point I started realizing there's people that work two full-time jobs. And I've never realized why they did that. I know one guy did it because he wanted to put his daughter through college. But it's just embarrassing. If anybody's seeing this from outside of the United States, if YouTube hasn't censored it, which they just might, try to get a VP. Well, you can't hear a damn thing I'm saying anyways if it's blocked, but I'm sure YouTube probably has orders from the government to block content like this. That way the government doesn't, the states themselves don't have a bad reputation. And that's all it is one big propaganda, one big campaign, IMO. But like I said, Not everybody's in the same shoes as I am. Some people do take opportunities of the situation. So there are two sides of the coins. My sisters, both amazing human beings, both goddesses in their own rights, and they both did what they had to do to achieve what they had to do. But in spite of that, because of the way this country's built, I would say that, I'm not going to say one or the other, but I would say that there just might be enough suffering in there to make it to where they either one or if not both might question, is it really worth it doing all? I mean, I'm sure at the end of the day they're going to say yes, but I'm sure they have their doubts and they have their questions, wondering if it's really worth it, putting in all that hard time, all that hard work, and all that effort just for the outcomes that they have achieved, which, don't get me wrong, are great. My niece, my nephew, who I barely know, Sebastian, I'm sorry, but my niece, Sophia, she's brilliant, she's amazing. Their father is very lucky. He has two beautiful children. And then my two nephews, they are a delight. They're just a delight. Both of them. The older one, he is the most educated, well-mannered human being you've ever met for his age. He's like an old soul. And then his younger brother is, it's just fun to be around with. At first he had to be tamed. And let me tell you something, the older brother, as soon as you thought that the older brother was, couldn't handle him, he showed him what's up. And he did it in a way where he didn't overstep his boundaries, and he didn't, start being abusive or mean about it. I wasn't there personally to see it, but I can tell. And also I know because I know my sister, and my sister is a great person. She's one of the greatest people that I've met in my whole life. I mean, both are, but Laura is also exceptionally well, and so are you, Alex. Alright, well, that's my vid for tonight. Whoever wants to watch, enjoy. And if you guys have any comments about your situations, about what you think about living here in the States, especially in places that are very affluent, that aren't even designed for people who, unless you're some kind of professional, they're not designed for regular people. They're designed for people who have money, either whether it's inherited or whether it's through accumulated student debt, which they have to pay back. This place is just not designed for normal people. And when I mean normal, I mean people that, graduated from high school and then went into the work field. Not at all.